Finally, Toyota have made a wise move. They saw my video about the BZ4X getting abysmal range and having nowhere near the battery capacity that they claimed it had, and they said, you know what, Viking, we're going to investigate this. Thank you for letting us know. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans and I'm coming to you from Melbourne in Australia. And no, Toyota does not care at all about what I say on this channel. And no, they didn't contact me, of course. I'm making that up. However, they have finally responded. Now, the thing is, they've had months to respond. These actual tests were carried out in Norway months ago, and the Norwegian publication got in contact with Toyota and said, this is what happened. We've measured the battery pack size. It's not what you say it is. We've looked at the range. It's not what you say it is. Something funny is going on here. And you know what Toyota did? They said, thanks, but no thanks. Bye-bye. It wasn't until these stories started getting shown on YouTube, the media started reporting on it, that Toyota finally went, okay, we better do something. So now Toyota has reportedly launched an investigation into the findings of the road test conducted by Danish media, which showed that the all-electric BZ4X's range was significantly less than its WLTP estimates. This was true both for the two-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive models of the BZ4X. And the thing is, this publication is incredibly consistent. The way they do their testing, it's probably better than any other tests I've ever seen anyone do. They actually do the test multiple times. They use 20 other models to compare it against other cars. There's consistency. They do it at the same temperatures. They were so surprised by the results from the Toyota BZ4X that they actually tested it multiple times on multiple different days to find out and see if there was something funny up. And yeah, there wasn't. Basically though, we know what European and US media have said about the BZ4X. They said it's an underwhelming car. That's kind of to put it nicely. The BZ4X is the Japanese automaker's entry into the very competitive all-electric crossover segment. Unfortunately, this foray, really Toyota's first foray into an all-electric car, has been very problematic. I mean, obviously, there's been huge issues with this car. We don't know the full extent of them. I think something happened. This is what I think happened. And hear me out here. But I want you to tell me what you think of my thesis, what I think really happened, what Toyota is hiding from us. Because I think I've worked it out. I could be wrong. This is just a guess. So Toyota, don't put a copyright strike on my channel to try and ban me from YouTube as other people have done, because I don't know if this is true, but this is my theory. First of all, the BZ4X won't benefit from the Biden administration's revamped EV tax credit since it's manufactured in Japan and China. So this vehicle will be, well, it's going to be kind of dead before it arrives. Now, I'll get to my thesis in just a minute on what I think is really going on with this car. But firstly, in this recent report, and I'll put a link in the description below to my video about it, Danish motoring magazine FDM conducted a road test featuring the BZ4X's two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions. The BZ4X is listed with a WLTP range estimate of 504 kilometers, which is 313 miles in its front-wheel drive version. So that's the version with just the front single motor. However, the all-wheel drive version is meant to get 461 kilometers of range, which is 286 miles. The reason for that is, of course, added weight means the range is less. Now, during the magazine's test, the two-wheel drive BZ4X was only able to do 246 kilometers or 153 miles before needing a change, meaning it did literally half the range of what it's meant to. In fact, less than half the range. 153 miles versus it's meant to do 313 miles. Unbelievable that it was this bad. The all-wheel drive BZ4X needed charging after 215 kilometers or 134 miles. 134 miles. Yeah. That's a deviation of 51% and 53% according to Teslarati from the vehicle's listed WLTP range, respectively. Now, Teslarati says that having the BZ4X hit less than its WLTP range is unexpected. Well, it's unexpected to see it hit this far under anyway, especially considering the test was conducted in relatively cool weather, but not freezing weather, so that wasn't going to affect the range too much. However, FDM was alarmed at the deviation in the Toyota branded all-electric vehicle's actual range. especially since pretty much every other car in the test performed similarly to what the manufacturer says it should. The Tesla Model Y long range all-wheel drive, for example, only saw a 20% range deviation during the magazine's road test. The Volkswagen ID.4 Pro and the Mercedes-Benz EQA, on the other hand, saw about a 30% deviation, but there was a number of other cars that saw pretty much no deviation or very close to no deviation at all, close to 5%. Toyota Denmark's head of press, Anders Teistrup, has noted that the Japanese automaker is aware of the test and it's aware of the vehicle's results. But the thing is, it wasn't one test. It was multiple tests conducted on different days using multiple vehicles. An investigation into the results is underway. The press manager also noted that the range discrepancy might be partly due to the BZ4X's buffer that is placed on the battery. Now here's where my thesis starts to come into play. Toyota has put a huge buffer on this battery. So essentially the battery capacity is quite a bit less than what Toyota has claimed. That's what my video was about. Toyota originally recalled this car, right? Back in, I think it was March of this year. And it recalled it for 6 months. 6 months because it said the wheels were falling off. It said so they couldn't get the wheels to stay on the car. Now, Toyota claims it has the world's best engineers, and it does have some good engineers. It's got thousands of engineers working at this company. It's a massive company. I mean, 10 million vehicles sold per year. That's a big number. And they've never had any problems with keeping the wheels on their vehicles. There's never been a reported issue of Toyota wheels just simply falling off. And the BZ4X, I don't believe Toyota when they claimed that the reason they recalled the vehicle was because the wheels were just falling off, and that it took them 6 months to work out how to get the wheels to stay on. Doesn't make sense. Does that make sense to you? 6 months with the world's leading engineers to work out how to get wheel bolts to stay on? That is just completely illogical. This is what I think has happened. There was a battery manufacturing issue, and therefore it took Toyota 6 months to work out that the way to solve the battery issue was to reduce the capacity, to have a safe and have a big buffer, which would give the vehicle a safe buffer in order to avoid the battery problems. And I reported that in a separate video where I talked about the issues with the BZ4X, how it was taking 6 months, and why Toyota wanted to buy back all the cars. In fact, it offered every consumer who had bought one of the cars to buy it back. Do you really do that because simply you can't get the wheel nuts to stay on? Or do you just work out how to get the wheel nuts to stay on? That's something that should take them a week. It took them 6 months. Clearly, the issue was far bigger than they're willing to tell us. And I believe if Toyota knew that if it disclosed it was a battery issue, and that they're having to work out a way to solve this, and that their solution was to simply have a huge buffer on the battery pack and therefore reduce the range significantly, it would have resulted in huge amounts of bad public relations, and they wanted to avoid that. That's my theory, and I think there's a very high probability that that is what happened. But I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.